Hello everyone, welcome back to the part 4 of our AI-102 question series. First of all, I would like to mention some subscribers who are continuously following our series with consistency. These special subscribers are Harshit Singh, which you can see like he comments every and he waits for our video and he also provides some good, very good feedback and suggestion for our videos. Varuni, I can see she's also commenting, literally waiting for it. And Stephen, Iram, and like as I said, Harshit Singh provided a very valuable feedback that he wants question like rearranging code snippets, which we have already included into our it. But in starting, I took very foundational question so that we can familiarity with the exam and drag and drop question. So like format of the question might be different, but you will get every single concept which you should know. It will be cleared if you covered all the videos of our series. Then definitely you won't miss out a single concept of AI 102. Okay, so maybe you won't find the drag and drop question in our series, but I have covered all those questions which are like maybe I change it to the fill in the blanks or some different format, but I have covered those questions. Multiple correct questions I have already included into our series. Gen I question are already in part of, you see, open AI questions. These are basically Gen AI questions only. And case study questions, we have already started doing it. So yeah, so thanks for all these suggestion and thanks to Harshit for going through our video thoroughly and just providing a good quality feedback. And Iram, Rosie, Vidushi. So all these guys have really provided the special subscriber and they really add a value to this channel. So I would just like give a shout out to them. So without any further delay, let's get started. So in the previous three parts, we have already done till question number 30. So now let's start with the question number 31. In a multi-turn conversation, which method? So multi-turn conversation is basically nothing. When you and your like any user and your AI system is continuously talking with each other. Just like we have chat GPT, I can show you directly by an example. If you go to chat GPT, it is basically utilizing Azure services only. So if I say 2 plus 2, okay, so it will give me result 2 plus 2 equal to 4. Now if I say add 4, okay, so it will ask me, okay, do you want the add 4 to this previous result? Okay, so it knows about the previous what we have talked. So this is a multi-turn it awares of the previous context. It's not like every time I have to explain name or do it. And even if I say yes, it also consider this previous concept and just give me output of this. Okay. So this is a multi-turn conversation where your AI and user are involves into the multiple exchanges. Okay. Which method would you use to initiate a waterfall dialogue? Okay. So waterfall dialogue, you can understand it. So there are like two important dialogues which we consider into like when we consider about multi-turn conversation. One is component dialogue, and let me just show you to you guys. Let me just open a link. Okay. So you can see there are uh, basically three dialogues: from dialogues, component dialogues, and waterfall dialogues. So here they are talking about waterfall dialogues. So waterfall dialogues is basically something when you are in like when you are working into a like steps. Okay, first you have done this, now you want to process that result and then start doing it just like we have done here. Okay, like we want to follow the dialogue approach here. 2 plus 2, okay, then I want to add 4, then with where the result of the first prompt is matter. Okay, so there that is known as waterfall dialogue. Okay, so you want to initiate a waterfall dialogue where like you want to continue the carry the context of the previous output. Okay, pushing the new instance of the reference dialog. Okay, so you want to create a new like a new chat, just like we created a new chat and started doing it. So you want to create a new instance of that reference dialog onto the top of the stack. Okay, so you want to basically create a new instance. How would you do it and what like basically methods you are required to do it. Okay, so let's check all the option, and here it is a multiple choice, like multi-select, multiple correct answers will be correct here. So we have to choose the two options out of like these four. Okay, so let's talk about first is the begin. So begin is just it begin is to just basically start the dialogue from beginning and allow you to like basically create a new conversational flow. Just like when we click here, so it is basically I am clicking on a begin dialogue. I am initiating a begin dialogue. So yes, begin is definitely going to be my answer. Then replace. So definitely, I don't want to replace anyone. There's question demanding me just pushing the new instance of the reference dialog onto the top of the stack. Okay. So just I wanted to create a new instance and just start working it. That's main my motto. Okay. So replace is basically replace dialog is used to like replace your current dialog with the or you want to switch between different dialogues. Okay. Then you will use replace dialog. But here that is clearly not a requirement. Cancel, like that is also not a requirement, like you don't want to like cancel the current dialogue or you want to end the dialogue, which is not a requirement here. We just wanted to push a new dialogue. Okay, so that is definitely not the requirement. Last one is prompt. So yes, prompt we required. So like you will ask, okay, begin, we have already initiated a new like dialogue from the very starting, created a new conversation flow. Then why we require prompt? Okay, so prompt is to ask when because you want to ask a user for information. Okay, you should provide a like okay, you want to message something to the chat GPT. So this is like a prompt dialogue you have to provide. Just like initiating a new conversation is not enough. You have to like ask user for some information which allows you to do this multi-turn conversation. So this prompt is definitely required, and you can also see like you have to select the two options. So replace and cancel definitely not are this. So let's check our answer. So yes, absolutely, these are correct. And I explained here as well, like multi-turn conversation is like multiple exchanges, and it just helps understand like AI in this conversation will understand more accurately to your inputs what you are providing because it is taking the previous context in the consideration as well. And we have already talked about four options. So let's move to the question number 32. Okay, so you want to implement advanced algorithms for processing image and text to flag potentially offensive, dangerous, or unwanted content. Okay, so you want to utilize the advanced algorithm basically from Azure side. So because it is asking which Azure AI service would you use, so you want to utilize Azure service. So read question very clearly. Okay, it is not asking you want to create something. You want here it is asking you want to utilize Azure AI services, which is built pre-built by Azure. You don't want to create something who can flag it. Okay, you just want to use it to flag some offensive, dangerous, and unwanted content. Okay, so what would be like our options? So first is Azure AI video indexer. So yes, it is a like it can be used for basically here we want to process image and text, and video indexer is definitely not our use of service because it is used for the video and audio files to extract meaningful insight from audio and video files. Okay, then we utilize video indexer. So that is definitely not our choice. Second is Azure AI Vision. So yeah, this seems like a correct option because it can yeah process image and text and like from the images, and it can like if you like it can like basically do like image processing as well, right? And it can maybe see okay this is an offensive if you labeled it and do it. But in exam you have to mark the space like what would be the more correct option. Okay, but till now out of these two, this is definitely I'm going to like select. If I have got these two options, then Azure AI Vision will be my correct answer. But remember, this is not a specialized service because I have already learned about the other services. So I can say this is not definitely going to be my answer. But if you like whatever you do, you just check every option. Okay. And if you feel this is more correct, then yeah, this is going to be my answer. Okay. So because it can process, it can do image analysis, and it can extract the information from images, right? AI vision can do that. Third option is Azure AI content set. So yes, this will be my option and more accurate option. And this is not a multiple select question, as it is not mentioned here. And in any way, in exam, you have to select explicitly. If it was not mentioned, you have to select the most accurate answer. Okay, which is here is Azure AI content safety, as it is a specially designed safety system to monitor your content, and especially for these to flag potentially offensive, dangerous, and unwanted content. And it will detect all the like potential risk and block them, threats, and any other quality problems if you have. So basically, to flag anything, you are definitely, it should click in your mind that Azure AI content safety is like a specialized service into that. And last one is Azure AI language. So which is basically used to provide NLP, like natural language processing features, to understand and analyze text, which is like not going to help you to flag offensive and these unwanted contents, not specialized into that. So Azure AI content safety is definitely going to be my answer. So I'm going to click it. Yes, it's definitely correct. Let's come to the next question. So, what technology you should use to pronounce pronunciation and volume of speech in text-to-speech conversation? Okay. So you want to control the pronunciation and volume of speech when you are converting from text to speech. Okay. So which is going to help you? So first option is Azure speech recognition. So Azure speech recognition is you should be very clear like what speech recognition will do. So it is used to recognize speech, not to control the text to speech conversion, right? Here we want to control the text to speech conversation. And you also like in AI, my AI 900 exam, I got a question, what is speech synthesis? And they will give option like text to speech to text. So there we want to do speech synthesis. Basically, the main question what is asking, we want to control the speech synthesis. So speech synthesis is equal to text to speech, not speech to text or something else. Okay. Speech synthesis directly means text to speech. Okay, conversion. So definitely Azure speech recognition is not my answer, as I don't want to recognize those. I want to control the aspects of like speech synthesis, or basically when we are converting text to speech. Next is HTML. So HTML is a like a very popular markup language, as we know. We use to it for the creating structure of web pages, and we can also like embed the video and audio for multimedia contents. But you cannot specify the characteristic for like controlling these specific characteristics of the speech, like pronunciation and volume of speech, right? You can embed the media like audio media or video media using HTML text, but you cannot control that particular characteristic which the question is asking. Okay, so HTML is like not a good answer for us. Next is SSML. So those guys who don't know what is SSML is, it is speech synthesis markup language. So if even if you know like what is a speech synthesis is, and what the full form of SSML is, so then it will be very clear to you. Okay, like these guys are talking about SSML, and you will immediately check it. So SSML is especially designed markup language for speech synthesis purpose, and using it you can adjust pronunciation and volume, and when you are doing this TTS conversation, text to speech, or like speech synthesis. So it's a very powerful language, and you can control like almost every aspect of speech, like pronunciation, volume, pitch, speed. You want to put more emphasis on something, and like you can utilize these SSML tags just like HTML tags we have, and you can fine tune like how you want your text to be spoken like in your speech, and basically gives you a more precise control over your like how you want to process your speech synthesis. And basically it also help you to like enhance your natural, and give you more clarity of the generated speech. Okay, you can make it more and more natural using this SSML. And last option is XML. So this is a extensible markup language. Basically, we utilize it to structure and organize data, and you can use it to define custom data formats and data structure. But it does not have like built-in features, especially for the like speech properties. To if you want to control these speech properties like pronunciation, volume, or provide some emphasis on it. So SSML, like speech synthesis markup language, is definitely my answer. So yeah, you can read more about it here. Question number 34. You are currently, so this is a like a very case study type of question, which like Harshit was asking. So you are currently using the Azure speech service to convert text to speech. Okay. Yes, of course, a speech service can convert text to speech. The prerequisite has been made, including installing the as speech SDK. So you now you know like exactly in practical what you have to do. You have to install the speech SDK when you want to convert text to speech, and you have to install the required packages. Your task is to configure the speech synthesizer for three different use cases. Okay. So you want to utilize basically, as we already talked, text to speech is basically speech synthesize. So you want to utilize for three different use case. Okay, this is a use case question. First use case is you want to output the audio to a wave file. So this is a format of file, audio file. So you want to give output audio in the into that particular file. Then you want to output to a speaker, and third use case you want to output as an in memory stream. Okay, so you configure four variables to meet the requirement per use case. Okay, so we have like four variables, variable one, two, three, four, where first is synthesizer is using a speech config null, then null on audio config, speech config, audio config, and speech config. Okay, as a parameter. So take a moment to review each use case and map them to the correct corresponding variables to meet the objective. Okay. So this question can come also like in the match the following also, or drag and drop. You have to just drag and drop and put it with the correct use case. Okay. I just provided into a simple manner, but like this question can come into different formats. Okay. It like so you should be familiar. I hope you got the idea like how questions can come into your exam. Okay. So let's see. For this, you need to understand. I let me like make it very clear, and let me show you an related link, so it will be very easy for you to understand. So first use case is to like save audio to a wave file. So if you go to this link, so here our requirement is basically we want to synthesize speech to a file, right? So to do that, what we need, we want an audio and we want to save it to the wave file. This is what we want to do basically from speech synthesizer. So first you need to understand, okay, all these options we have speech config, then there is a null, then null audio config, speech config, audio config, and speech config. So first is we have to pass the speech config, and second thing we have to pass the audio config. Okay, so this is the main thing which we have seen from our all the variables, or otherwise you can pass null or you don't pass anything. Okay. So like is what is the requirement of like do we require when we are synthesizing speech to file, do we require speech config and audio config? So in speech config, we generally pass the subscription speech config subscription info. So it can synthesize our speech, basically convert from text to speech. And in audio config, we provide okay, do we want to like where you want what do you want to do of that audio? Okay. So here we want to save it in a WAV file, just like here they are doing the same thing. So yes, for this purpose, you can see we require the speech config as well and audio config as well, because we want to save it. We want to utilize like basically convert it into a speech, and like in what kind of a speech you can provide here. Okay, this is like this Indian English I want to provide and everything, and you just provide to your subscription key and like basically the path where you want to save your file. So for this purpose, we require both of the things. So if I can see like for our first use case, we require both of the things, that is variable 3. So if I go to my option for use case 1, all of the options are giving variables. So this becomes very tricky. Now I have to see well, like what is our Second use case, we want to output to a speaker. Okay, so to do that, okay, there is another section like you want to synthesize to speaker output. So how for that, what you want to, you don't want to store it. You just converted it to speech and just spoken it out. So you don't need to do anything with the audio config. So here you can see you just provide speech config. That's it. But you want the audio, right? But you don't want to do anything with that audio. So you don't pass null here. Okay. So just pass speech config. So if I go like for my use case two, I just wanted to use speech config, that is variable 4. So where is the variable 4? So this one and this one. Okay. So like I can select these and okay, my for the use case three, only one option will be correct, one or two. So let's see out of these two, which one is the correct. So last is output audio as an in-memory stream. Okay. So this is another next example. So you don't want to directly write to a file. You want to just stream it, just like continuously stream your audio. Okay, instead of saving it to a file. So for that, what you need to do, you have to you have a speech config, and you want to do something with your audio part. But what you want to do, you want to continuously stream. So for that, and you have to pass it as a null. Okay, because you are processing the audio stream here, audio config here. So here just I will use this speech config null, and so I will utilize variable 1. So this is going to be my correct answer, and I will click on check answer. So absolutely, this is my correct. And you should know like this speech synthesis is equal to text to speech. I hope this question will be clear, but if you still have a doubt, please let me know in the comments. I will explain more into maybe some next video. Okay. But like this is a very simple use case, basically nothing like what you want to utilize. You want to do something with the speech, and then you want to further process the audio. So that's how you basically define these speech synthesizer parameters. Okay. Next question is question number 35 in your organizational. Oh, before we go ahead with the question number 35, I request you all of you guys that make sure you subscribe the channel and share it with your colleagues and juniors. And most importantly, let me know in comments, yaar, who if you are watching, you are following this series. So I will locate like these numbers of people are following the series, so I can get more motivated and like put more questions and what type of questions you guys need for more preparation. So I will put that question first. Then I will definitely going to put all of the question. But if you like requested, just like Harshit requested, so if you have any particular suggestion or feedback, please let me know in the comment section. Okay. So in your organizational application, you have navigation options for various function across different screen. Okay, you have navigation option available across different screen in your application. You now need to achieve a similar objective in your Azure board application. Okay, to do this, you design a conversational flow through a multi-turn conversation. We now already know what is a multi-turn conversation. Okay, so this is all are like Gen AI, as we see like ChatGPT is utilizing basically this. That switches context smoothly, providing a seamless experience for the end user. You use the both framework SDK and dialog libraries to define the flow of conversation. Which dialog would you use to ask for user input and return a result? Okay. So we have actually this is a very similar question to like this, but the language is here is different. So what it is saying, like you have a different navigation across various functions. So just like Chat GPT, like if you want to go to like this simple math application, which I can just go through this UI and see all my different like previous contexts which I have worked on. So this kind of UI, you can switch to different contexts. Even if I go like create a new context and I click here and say add 4. So it will not take like okay, what do you want to add for to it? It does not take the previous conversation. Here it is a different context, and here in like second context which we created a new, it is take it as a another context. Okay, So like this is, you want to switch between these contexts smoothly, and you want to provide seamless and experience to the end users. Okay, I hope you now got what we want to do it. Basically, like here it is asking which dialog would you ask for the user input and return a result. You already know, like we already know what will be the answer because we have previously discussed in this question. Uh, yes, this one. Like here, begin dialog we have utilized to basically initiate the new context, and prompt we have utilized for the asking user input and like more information so we can do the multi-turn conversation. So if you just read this question properly, it is asking for the same rate. Like you want to like ask the input and return the result. So definitely it is prompt dialog clearly, but we can discuss about all other dialogues as well, like input dialog. So input dialog is basically used to capture like user input. Just like begin is to initiate in, then the input dialog will come in. Okay, to ask to basically capture the input. So it will capture the input, but it does not return a result. Okay, it will just take the input from the user and does not taking care about asking the user the input, asking for it, and to get a result out of it. It will does not take care. So in prompt dialog, it will initiate the input dialog. Okay, so then user will provide the input, then prompt dialog will take it and provide a output of it. Okay, so that will handle by using prompt dialog. But input, just take the input. That's it. That's the work of prompt dialog. Next is Q&A maker dialog. So it is basically to integrate a question and answer service into your bot application. Then you utilize question and maker. So you want to utilize like a predefined knowledge bases, and you have some documents and you want to utilize based on the knowledge or the text you have in that document. You want to do it, then you will utilize Q&A maker like dialog box, rather than just like asking for a user input and providing based like returning a result. So that is not done by Q&A maker. It is just to integrate the Q&A service with the your bot application. Next is action dialog. So action dialog is like if you want to define some specific action within your bot. Okay, you want to like trigger certain behaviors based on some interaction, but it does not handle like to ask for the user input and return the result. Okay, it just triggers certain behaviors based on like how the user is interacting, how what action you want to take it. Then you will do it in the action dialog. Okay, so prompt dialog is my answer. So you can see, and it is correct. So let's move ahead with the next question. You have an Azure subscription that has the following configuration. Okay, subscription ID is this, tenant ID is this. You plan to create a resource that will perform sentiment analysis. Okay, so you did not have created it. You are planning to create a resource which can do sentiment analysis and OCR as well. Okay, you need to use an HTTP request to create the resource in the subscription. Okay, you want to create a HTTP request to basically create this resource which can do these. The solution must have a single key endpoint. Okay, so this is a very practical question. Okay, you want to utilize a single key and endpoint to do all these, to do the sentiment analysis as well, and to do the optical characteristic recognition as well. Okay, how should you complete the request? You might have seen some app which can do like multiple things in a single application. So it's like a single key and endpoint you want to provide for some similar kind of objective. Okay, so like how you can do that, and like there are the fill in the blanks like line 1 and line 2. So what should come basically, yeah, in the management.azure.com in the HTTP request. So what should come, like if you look at the line 1 options, these are the four. Okay, subscription, subscription tenant, and tenant. So, like, what should you provide? Subscription slash subscription, or subscription slash tenant, or tenant slash subscription, or tenant slash tenant, or something similar. Like, what would be the correct answer? So, it's just a basic understanding you need to have about this. Like, first of all, you need to understand like this sentiment analysis and OCR. are come under the Azure Cognitive Services. So you can utilize it as a multi-service resource. That's um, because you want to utilize it as single key and endpoint. For that, you need to utilize Azure Cognitive Service as a multi-service resource. Okay, because there are two things like single service one and the multi-service resource. Okay, you can utilize the resources. So I want to utilize it as a multi-service resource. So for that, you need to like provide the subscription. Okay. So for that, I will going to choose subscriptions and slash my subscription ID, not the tenant ID here. And next is so it can okay verify okay for this subscription I want to create the resource. Basically, my main motto is to create the resource to use an using an HTTP request. Okay. Next, you have resource groups, OCR project. Okay, this is a project name, providers. So now what next should become? Okay, so line two has Microsoft API management. Do you want to do API management? No. Microsoft Cognitive Service? Yes, this will be my answer. I want to utilize this. And container service, no. Key vault. So basically, I don't want to utilize any of these service. Because these I want to perform sentiment analysis and OCR, which comes under the part of cognitive services. So yes, I will check both of these options and let's see. Yes, these are absolutely correct. So let's move to the next question. You are developing a monitoring system that will analyze engine sensor data, okay, such as rotation, speed, angle, temperature, and pressure. The system must generate an alert in response to atypical values. Okay, so again, it will come similar to like anomaly. Okay, because there will be some atypical values. You want to get an error. Okay, what should you include in the solution? Okay. So definitely anomaly is going to be part of it. So first is application insight in Azure Monitor. That is definitely not going to help me. Metric alerts in Azure Monitor. That is also not going to help me. So basically, the question is asking about the system must generate a alert in response to that. Okay, that is clearly indication of anomaly detection. So like all these is definitely I'm not going to choose. The options will be multivariant anomaly detection and univariant anomaly detection. So you should be aware about okay what is this multivariant anomaly detection and what is this univariant anomaly detection basically. Okay, so multivariant anomaly detection is the basically like the more comprehensive solution you can see. It basically allow you to do like analysis of complex relationship. If you have like multiple matrices, then definitely like you have to utilize multivariant anomaly detection, and you can see like there are multiple matrices: rotation, speed, angle, temperature. You have to utilize it. But if you want to do it for the single, then you are going to utilize univariate. It is very clear from the name. So I'm going to choose multivariate anomaly detection. Then that's it. It's a correct answer. Next question. You have an Azure subscription that contains a language services resource named TA1 and a virtual network named VNet1. You need to ensure that only resources in VNet1 can access TA1. Okay. So only resources which are available in this particular virtual network. So you want to make it more secure. So only those can access this resource. How should you configure? Okay, so this is a security related question. So what should you do? So you need to make changes in TA1. So this is also very clear to it. So I can like attach some information with TA1. Okay, only resources from this particular virtual network can access you. Okay, so this the changes should be on the TA1 side. So this option is definitely going to be net1. This one is also not going to be my answer. So next to what should you configure? A virtual network setting for TA1. So yes, this would be my answer, or a language service container for TA1. So setting up a container is definitely not going to help me. I just configure the network settings for me, and I will just specify, okay, you should be like access from these particular subnet, and these subnets belong to whatever the subnets are there in the virtual network. So I will just specify it, and you can do it for the different subscriptions as well, and for the same subscription as well. And also you can utilize the Azure AD as well. So this is like a practical stuff which we always do to maintain the security. You just make changes in the virtual network setting for that particular. When we create that resource, we just configure these virtual network settings very carefully. Okay, so yeah, this is correct. Last second question. You are building an AI solution that will use sentiment analysis result from surveys to calculate bonuses for customer service staff. You need to ensure that the solution meets the Microsoft responsible AI principle. What should you do? Okay, so you want to perform the sentiment analysis. This is my keyword from the surveys. Okay, so it's like a basic general stuff you have already seen in your in the day-to-day life. Like there will be surveys taken after you do some, like you talk with any customer service staff. They will okay, ask for the feedback. How is it? Tell you will give star 5 star and you write something. Okay, like behavior was polite or behavior was not negative. So you want to do sentiment analysis on those surveys, and you want to ensure that it makes sure it meets the Microsoft responsible AI principle. So we have already talked about it in one of our previous questions. The Microsoft principle, responsible AI principle are six, and those are, we make a keyword out of it: TAP, FIR, transparency, accountability, privacy and security. Then FIR, that is fairness, um, and I for inclusiveness, and R for reliability and safety. So that real TAP, FIR really helps me to remember all of these, because these are like theoretical questions, so it is become sometimes difficult to remember the keywords, because sometimes they give a similar context keyword to you. Okay, so what should you do? So it should meet those principles. Okay, so let's talk about them. So first, add a human review and approval step before making decision that affect the staff financial situation. So yes, that's come under the responsible AI principle, which follows the principle of accountability. Out of these six principles, so this is talking about the accountability principle. Okay, you, because in accountability we talks about it that every final decision should be, before the final decision goes out, it should goes through a human review. Okay, that is the main, one a real person should be accountable for that decision. So that is definitely going to follow this responsible AI principle. Next is include the sentiment analysis result when surveys return a low confidence score. Okay, so but this does not follow the principle of fairness. Okay, because you are not doing, um, uh, you are not following the principle of fairness when you are giving the result only when like it returns a low confidence score. Okay, for high you are not getting it. You are not treating everybody equal. You are not treating your AI solution is not fair enough. Okay, so this is not going to be my answer. Use all the surveys, including surveys by customer who requested that their account be deleted and their data be removed. So again, it is not following the principle of privacy and security, because in the principle of privacy security, you have to maintain what customers want. And here they are asking for deletion and still you are utilizing it. So you are not maintaining their privacy and security. So that is definitely not going to, I would follow it. Last one is publish the raw survey data to a central location and provide the staff with access to a location. Okay. So if you publish to a central location and you provide the staff to that location, that is also not following the principle of privacy and security, because anybody can see every other survey data, and now staff has the access to that, utilize the raw data of customers, which is very wrong in terms, and it does not follow the principle of privacy and security. You are not maintaining the uh, like uh, maintaining the confidentiality which you should maintain when following the principle of privacy and security. So definitely A is going to be answer. Let's check it. So this is correct. Last question is, you have a custom vision service project that perform object detection. So yes, custom vision can do object detection. The project uses the general domain for classification and contains a train model. Okay. So your project utilize the general domain for classification. So whenever you create a custom vision, so it generally you have to select the like different domains. Let me just show you guys. So if you see, when you like here we are talking about object detection model domains only, right? So here you can see like we have different domains, like for what purpose you want to do object detection. You want to do it for the, you want to detect the logos, or you want to detect product on shelf, or you want to or do it for the like compact domains or general domains, or like it is just for a variety of tasks, then you utilize general, and for better accuracy you utilize general even. So there are different domains which are available to us. Okay. Next is, and it now has a train model. You need to export the model for use and on a network that is disconnected from the internet. Okay. So this is a like really important keyword, and this is a very important question. And I guess this is a very like latest question, as you can see. So you want to export and utilize on a like very private network which is disconnected from the internet. So you basically you want to utilize it locally, and whenever you want to utilize locally, the domain should be compact domain. Okay, so even if you see that link, you can see this compact model, they have a special section, and you can see model generated by compact domain can be exported to run locally. And if you want to run something locally, then you have to use the compact domain. So that is very clear to me. Okay, when choosing what three action should you perform in sequence? Okay, here sequence is also matter. Okay, so like first option is to change the classification type. So classification type is like changing it does not going to help me. I have to change the domain because currently it is in general domain and I want to utilize it locally. So for that I have to change it to the compact. Okay. So yes, change domain to general compact. Yes. So these two will be like my first step. Okay, so let's select them both, and let we will discuss okay which one is more better. Then next option is create a new classification model and then retrain the model, or retrain the model and then export the model. So definitely we need to export the model. That is the like main basically requirement. And for even when you change the domain, you have to save those changes, and then you should train that domain, train your model into the new domain. So that is definitely you have to do it. You have to retrain the domain whenever you change the domain. After that, you have to retrain the model. That is for sure. Okay, then export the model. So this is going to be my answer. Let's click on it. So yes, this is our like answer. You can read more information about it, and that's all in this video. I hope you are getting the value from this series. And if you have any feedback or suggestion for me, please let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe the channel, and please let me know in the comments if you are following this series. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.